Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network and another Monday episode of Degen Power Hour. We're going to cover best ball portfolio, look at DFS, early look, maybe an early look at Underdog Battle Royale for week 8, but then turn our attention to the Monday Night Football. We got another doubleheader slate. We're going to cover that all in just 1 minute. Where is it? Go. That's right. Week 7 is almost in the books. We are turning the pages to week 8 after tonight. We do have a doubleheader tonight. We will cover Monday night bets at the end of this. I'm, of course, joined by my brother, Steve, to talk about it all. Steve, talk about basically how you felt about another wild week 7 Sunday, especially the end of the 4 o'clock games. But a wild week 7 as I, tweet and wrap up a couple things on Substack, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, I mean, the week started off with the Unk Bowl, the 2 old quarterbacks, and that game didn't disappoint. And old quarterbacks kept it going in the London game as Matt Stafford threw for 5 touchdowns, Devontae Adams taking full advantage of Puka not being there, grabbing 3, Jags didn't do much, but we did see Travis Hunter come to life. That was nice to see. Just shows like, got to use them. Coming off the bye, I think we should see a better second half for him. Hopefully Brian Thomas Jr. isn't seriously injured. I haven't seen any updates on that. That led to the 1 p.m. games were not exactly, top notch, especially there's a lot of like blow up potential and just some bad teams. One matchup of bad teams, the Browns are clearly not as bad of a team as the Dolphins as they dominated Miami at home. Judkins just completely went off in this game, 3 touchdowns, monster game. And then, some of the other 1 o'clock games we saw May just continue to look like, great young quarterback. We saw Mahomes. Mahomes has been on fire all year. Rashee Rice comes back. That passing offense is going to be really tough to stop going forward. How good are they? We don't know, because the Raiders are one of those teams that are just so bad, especially once they lost Max Crosby in the game. They had no answers for the Chiefs at all. But the big thing is their offense. I mean, Geno threw for under 100 yards. And we're getting multiple quarterbacks this year throwing for under 100 yards in like non-crazy weather games. That's not a good thing. And speaking of bad quarterback play, the Jets, Justin Fields went out due to injury, came back in, got benched. Tyrod didn't exactly do himself any favors to keep the job, but that's another team that right now looks like a disaster. And then I think we go to the 4 o'clock and we look at a team from the same city, same name, New York, who everyone thought was going to be bad and awful this year. And while they had maybe the most heartbreaking loss of the year, that was a win. Anyone who cares about the Giants should consider that game a win, because you have no expectations this year, especially without Malik Neighbors. The defense played extremely well for 3+ quarters. Jackson Dart was really good in this game, did have a bad interception at the, near the end that cost him. Cam Scatterby looked good. The backup both tight ends, Bellinger and Theo Johnson, looked fine. Wandale solid. A lot of positivity for the Giants. And I know it's a heartbreaking loss. That kicker is, I'm sure, already cut. But on the flip side, Denver, they have they have a good record, but they're not playing many complete games. And they've been able to stay at it and come back and beat the Eagles and now come back and beat the Giants. But it's going to be tough for them to overcome the Chiefs. With this, but probably a good playoff team. Our Washington Commanders played Dallas. The biggest news out of that, well, one is a blowout, but with CeeDee Lamb being back, boy, is he good. 3 healthy games for Lamb, 300-yard games, and Jane Daniels out with the hamstring injury. They're saying it's not too serious, so we'll see what that means going forward, but I'd expect probably at least 1 week missed. And 2 other 4 o'clock games. But the other one that's very interesting is the Colts. Colts are 6-1. This team is as good as can be. If Adonai Mitchell doesn't blow 2 touchdowns in that game against the Rams, are probably 7-0. And they played a lot of good teams. They played the Broncos. They played the Rams, as I mentioned. They played, Chargers, who are still a pretty solid team. So they're beating good teams. They're playing well, and that team looks next to unstoppable. And from fantasy purposes, their offense is firing. JT is best RB in the league, and Tyler Warren is one of the best tight ends. And the receivers looking good. Danny Dimes is, yes, absolutely deserving the Indiana Jones moniker, and just absolutely having a fantastic year. Meg, you're muted. Meg, you're muted.
Okay, yeah. I'm good. I messed that up, crushing it. No, thank you for, giving a week 7 recap. As I'm sending Discord, Substack, Twitter, letting you know we're live. Anybody, if you're watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube, hit that like button. We certainly appreciate if you're not for some reason following the Fanspeak Network. We do content every single weekday covering DFS, Underdog, dailies, and of course, at betting, which we will cover at the end of this for the Monday night doubleheader. And then best ball on Mondays, we do a portfolio review. We will cover that because if you're watching this, you probably were with us most of the summer in the best ball streets, and Mondays we do a portfolio review. So we will get into that in a minute. Lots to be excited about over here. But Steve is visiting me. Love having him visit here. But when we do stream together, we can knock each other's internet out. But to Mike, Rob, thank you again for giving us some tips and tricks. I did reboot the modem, so hopefully it's a little better. But yeah, should have let her keep going, Steve. Such a missed opportunity for sure. So yes, today, again, every Degen Power Hour is now going to be at 5 o'clock every Monday and Thursday. Mondays, it's obviously best ball portfolio review, kind of DFS recap, DFS early look, and then jumping into the Monday night streets. And again, we have 2 exciting ones tonight. So Steve, let's waste no time. Let's talk through some of the best ball portfolio review. I'm going to bring over BBMD, the wonderful BBMD. Shout out to Patrick Donovan for this. He keeps improving it each and every day, it feels like. And now you can check out literally people's entire portfolio. He's added marathon and sprint, which obviously we're big, we're in on this drafting season, and obviously have some marathon type sweats too. So Steve, where should I jump into first, bringing this over and kind of looking at the portfolio?
Well, since it's not part of the main portfolio, why don't you just look at the marathon?
Okay. Yes. Okay. So, let's do that first. So yeah, kind of mentioned it, and we've talked about this the last couple shows, but, Steve and I both have season-long sweats. So I kind of teased in the tweet today, Shalp siblings, can we keep the season-long sweats going? Steve is currently first place in the Drafters Mini. I believe currently 12th place in the Drafters Main. And as you can see, marathon, here I am, is still in first place with a little 29-point padding here going into tonight. 2 games, a lot of high-powered offenses, high octane. Can't talk. Players and offenses tonight. So don't know if I'll hold, but I had an amazing week scoring about, I think, 195 this week. I do have Rashad White. Don't think he'd have to have a monster game to kind of count for scoring. So we'll see. But I, tweeted this, after the Thursday night game, Steve, after Pat Freiermuth, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf didn't do much, but Higgins for me had 4 players go, and 3 really, really counted for me. Obviously, then Rodgers then got replaced by, I thought maybe Dak, but then it ended up being Herbert because those are my 3 quarterbacks in this first place marathon. So holding strong right now, 29-point lead. This is just going to be a fun sweat. Mike Robb was joking in Discord, you like people chasing you. No, it's terrifying, but I'd rather in the marathon be, with a lead and trying to get more of a lead. But I know, like, when you have people chasing you in DFS like he did, it is hard because you're just sweating out every moment of people chasing you. And I will be tonight too, but this is just fun to have this first place team. A team I absolutely love. I know the day I drafted it, I remember using best ball overlay, and I really, really just love the structure and player takes on this team. I leaned obviously heavy into player takes and going like overboard on that. And that's what I have a lot to be excited about marathon. I just need these guys to stay healthy, keep doing what they're doing. And as you can see, I've covered this each week, but we'll just, keep it rolling here. Let's see. I'm trying to bring it up. Am I doing something wrong? might just be a little slow. Obviously, a lot of people are checking BBMDB today, as they should. So that was obviously understandable that this site's getting a lot of action today. But should I go over to Underdog, Steve?
You can try it. It'll probably come up at some point. I don't know if you want to just highlight the rest of the marathon, but
yeah. Let's just talk about that. But anyways, we've talked about this on all these best ball portfolio shows. Hopefully we will want to keep talking about it because that means it's doing well, that, tracking this. And then, you have, okay, there it is. I knew it was coming. So yeah, Dak, Herbert, Rodgers, McCaffrey, JT, Scatabo, that's running backs 1, 2, 7, I think, on the season long scoring. Then Braylon Allen, Rashad White, who's counted for me multiple times, Taj Brooks, T. Higgins, George Pickens, DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen. So this week I had a big week from T. Higgins and Keenan Allen. And then obviously a counting week from, Stephon Diggs, I think, as my third receiver. So Scatabo, I don't even think is counting as my flex because both Ferguson and Pat Freiermuth had monster 2 touchdown games. So my flex is actually coming from the tight end position this week. So yeah, I absolutely love this team, love the structure, love the player takes, but hopefully this is a team that stays healthy, keeps doing what we're doing, and something we can sweat out all season. Now let's get to the rest of it. Look who else is in the marathon. 11th place, Steve Speak. So the siblings are, fighting here in the marathon. Steve's got the 11th place, Bo Nix, Drake May, who absolutely had a monster week 7 game. Bo Nix, Drake May, Geno Smith, Christian McCaffrey, JT. So RB 1 and 2. Again, we talked about building for a strong running back room, building for running back to hit the flex, building for, trying to get them to outperform their ADP, their positional rankings. When you have running backs 1 and 2, we both have tight end 1 with Jake Ferguson. You're trying to hit the nuts on obviously those players. Obviously I think Dak is in the top 3 quarterbacks. Drake May's in the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks. So that's the kind of parlay you're trying to hit here. So yeah, JT. Yep. McCaffrey for you. Hampton hopefully comes back for you to kind of feed into that flex, because if so, I think he will feed into that flex for you. Ford, Chris Rodriguez, same as me, George Pickens, Roma Dunze, and then you have Devonta Smith, who had a big week 7, Cooper Kupp, Marvin Mims, Cedric Tillman, Diami Brown, Roman Wilson, and then Jake Ferguson, Jonnu Smith. So we both have Jake Ferguson with the Steelers tight end there. So very exciting in the marathon. And then if you look here, so I'll do Steve's name first. You can see how well they're doing in the marathon as a whole, obviously, and then we'll get into the portfolio stuff. So he had 115 marathon drafts, and he's in 11th, and then 299, 507, 528, 602, 636, 660, 879, 905, 989. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the top 1,000. And then a few more, behind that. So 10 in the top 1,000 feels nice. And then obviously, what is it? The top 11,000 cash, Steve?
Top 12,000.
Top 12,000 cash. So I don't even have time to count how many Steve has cashing. Right. So the top 12,000 cashing. And I don't even have time to count how many Steve has there. So that's awesome.
I believe it's 38.
Okay. Yeah. So I figured you would know that. And then I'd done 52, I think 52 or 53 of the marathon. I wanted to do at least a third, and I did. And so I did, 53. And similar to Steve, 10 in the top 1,000. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the top 1,000, and 5 in the top 500. And this 188th team is a sibling showdown on August 14th. Sibling showdown: Drake May, Purdy, Daniel Jones, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor. A little theme there. Jordan Mason, Ray Davis, JCM. T. Higgins, Worthy, JMO playing tonight, obviously, Pearsall, Keenan Allen, Pop Douglas, Romeo Duggs, Ferguson, Jonnu, Fannin. I love this team too, Steve. Think this team can make some noise as well.
Yeah, I think that's a riser, especially with Purdy coming back. And, the running backs are pretty deep with Mason and JCM behind the 2 elites.
Yeah. Now let's go into portfolio. So obviously we're super excited about that. And then why don't you mention, while I catch up with chat, you mentioned how you're doing on drafters, and then we can jump over to the full portfolio review.
Oh, you kind of already mentioned on drafters. I'm still in first place in the mini, and as Mike says, I still have Mbuka, and obviously Bucky's out, and I'm already up 26 points. So this was a week where I was kind of thin. I wasn't even expecting Mbuka to play, and it looks like he is going to play. I don't know if he'll end up counting for me, of course, but yeah, it's feeling really good where I'm at drafters. I also have another one. I think I'm top 25 in that same mini. And then I'm 12th in a main and then 25th in the super flex. So I'm in a pretty good spot. Some other top 100s and some of the other minis and mains. So feeling really good where I'm at with my drafters. And again, I'll update it tomorrow after tonight when I do a show tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, feel strong where my drafters portfolio is at.
Yeah. And like Mike said, yeah, I mean, very, very exciting that we both have some season long sweats. But yeah, you two are crazy at these season long ones. We're excited because we leaned into that, the content wise about saying, you're trying to hit that parlay outperforming. I think we drafted as such. We did content for it. And yeah, I'm really excited and proud of us that we hopefully continue to have these season long sweats. But thank you, Mike. And yeah, very fun that you still have some sweats tonight in your mini as well. Kix says, good luck. Your marathon team looks great. Thank you so much, Kix. I appreciate it. We got our guy, Tim D in here. Great to see you, Tim, Patriots fan. Figured Vrabel would keep the foot on the gas and Henderson would get involved. Don't know what Henderson did to Vrabel. Yeah, that part's a bummer for sure as far as the best ball portfolio and Trevion Henderson, but the Patriots look good. May looks great. May with under Mike McDaniel, looks awesome. And just kind of what we thought, like he could be that Jaden Daniels in, dual threat quarterback that has a lot of upside, but you're getting like 6-7 rounds later. And so far that's bearing out. And hopefully that continues too, because Steve and I both have a lot of May, as you can see here. And absolutely love rooting on May in our best ball teams. So your Patriots are fun to watch. We got our guy Candyman in here, GM. Be sure to check out Fantasy Football Garage. Still doing some weekly content for in-season fantasy, and he is the 2025 first inaugural Jeopardy champion, best ball Jeopardy champion, and he just received the best ball trophy. Candyman, I have to tune into a stream to see it displayed. Love to hear it. We got Crossface in here. Yo, great to see you. Our guy Spread. Great to see you as well. Spread and Tyler and Jamie usually joins them on every Tuesday, 7 p.m. And then you'll be on tomorrow, as you are every Tuesday here in this office. A little better service, hopefully, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern before you go on with Who Hames. Mike's got a new branding idea for us, a season-long shelves. Not bad. What do you think, Steve?
I like it.
Yeah, May is the real deal. He is so fun to watch. I was a fan of him coming into the NFL, and now I'm certainly a fan of him on my best ball teams. Okay, let's do a little portfolio review. Steve, I'll head to you first. And yes, absolutely recommend checking all this out on BBMDB. Absolutely awesome. So Steve had a big old portfolio. This obviously doesn't include marathon, and this is Underdog, of course. 1628 drafts. He's advancing 413 of them for 25.37%. So over 25% advance rate. You have to absolutely love that. The baseline for the types of drafts you did would have been 19. So way over the baseline. Absolutely love that. Why don't you pick out some of the highlights that you want to show, Steve, in your portfolio?
Yeah, for me, a lot of things are, I like this. My advance rate's creeping up every week. And again, we'll look at this more tomorrow. So that's important to me. And I also like it's very strong across the board in all, tournament sizes, different things. I'm actually really crushing the puppies for whichever reason. So, I love dogs, but I'm puppy 3 and 4, and I did less of those, but even 1 and 2, I'm above the field. So feeling good there. But then it's like the high dollar stuff. Right now I'm advancing like 3 bulldogs, 2 Dalmatians. I think 7 total huskies out of the 20.
8 out of the 20.
2 cap. Okay. 2 Chow Chow, and I have like 3 others in third. So yeah, just really kind of happy where I'm at. That I'm not just, because these also were throughout the season, so it's not like, oh, there's one good month or something like that. And so I just feel very happy. And I'm in good place because I also have a lot of third and fourth place teams, and particularly like the bigger stuff. So I just feel I have a lot of things live, and I'm hoping for another really strong playoff rate this year.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, in the higher dollar stuff, like you said, 2 out of the 4 Bulldogs, 2 out of the 3 Dalmatian, 1 out of 5 bigger board, 8 out of the 20 Husky. I mean, that's huge. And like you said, Superflex, you weren't as happy with the advance rate, but you did, and you joked about getting like the first pick, 1 through 5 a lot. 1 through 5, outside of Josh Allen is not kind. And the quarterback, obviously Josh Allen's been great. Lamar, injured, Jaden Daniel injury, kind of not, hitting the ceilings that we thought. Burrow injured, Hurts, not hitting kind of the ceilings we thought from, the whole, like he said, definitely had massive spike weeks and stuff, but not, the first 5 is not as kind, in Superflex, probably your back half of the drafts are kind of better and stuff. And like you said, the way you draft quarterbacks hopefully will bear out over the season to produce results to get a little higher advance rate. But no, I mean, and you're 27% in the sprint, we did a whole show about that. We just want to advance. We just want to advance and see what then can dance in the sprint. So, 27% rate in the sprint's awesome.
And the thing with the sprint is that one, like there are going to be plenty of wild card spots. So I think it was like 2,000, something like that. And, my get, because it's top 9,300 advance, and so you can't say every team in the top 9,300 because everyone, I have playoff teams outside of 9,300 who are definitely advancing because they're top 2. But I feel I'm probably going to get another. Right now, if it ended today, I'd probably get another 6 to 8. So yeah, feel really happy where I'm at and taking advantage of some of the overlay there.
Yeah. And then BBM, I mean, the sprint, as far as like the flagship tournaments. And by the way, you moved on your big eliminator team this week, correct?
Nope. Don't jinx me.
Oh, okay. You need to sweat it out tonight. Okay. Sorry. I forgot about that. Okay. What do you need tonight?
I have a good chance. I had a bad quarterback score from Caleb Williams, and I have, I think, both Baker and Darnold. So
that's what it is.
I have Mike Evans, and I think maybe even Rashard White. Though Rashard White would be tough to score, but Mike Evans with a good game could get there. And Baker or Darnold, I need them to get, way more than Caleb Williams.
All right, so, I'm sorry about that. We're not then that's what we're rooting on is Baker or Darnold to count, Mike Evans to count, so that you can move on in the big elim. But as I mentioned, you're doing very well in the marathon. What we talked about. 10 in the top 1,000, and a very strong cashing rate. Sprint, 27% advance rate. Hoping to move a big elim on. Got to root that on tonight. 23 of 80. Did a little over half of BBM. 23 of 80 currently advancing, and plenty of third and fourth place teams for current 28% advance rate and 28.7 in BBM. That's super awesome and fun as well. We can also check out BBM. I don't think I have any top scoring ones. Do you know if you have any top scoring ones?
I think I just have 2 in the top 10,000 right now, and a couple right outside. We'll see after tonight, obviously.
But again, this is what's so great about managing the whole portfolio. Look in what contests you're cashing in, your advance rate. And I think this is very, a lot to be really, really excited about here. And then we go over to mine, 272 total drafts, not counting the marathon or this counts rookies and sophomores too, right?
No, it does not.
Okay. It doesn't count rookies, sophomore, doesn't count marathon. Thank you. So 200, because I knew I did I did between those two, like over 100. And then I did, a few weekly winners, and because I know I did over 400, and this is 272. So what else would this be missing then, Steve? Rookie, sophomores, marathon, weekly winner, and eliminator, I guess. So yeah, I guess between all those, that's how I got over 400. But yeah, 272, again, marathon and rookie and sophomores not counting in this. 27.5 advanced or current advance rate. Definitely have plenty of third and fourths too that I'm excited about. But similar to Steve, very excited about what currently advancing 8 of 24 BBMs with some third and fourths in there. So that's exciting. Again, a lot of those were with either Steve or other content. I like Candyman, who was in here, who we're still advancing that team and hopefully do, because I love that team. Doing really strong in the super flex. I think I did actually get more later picks, and that's actually been helpful to that. And, similar to Steve, happy with like advancing some of the higher dollar stuff. One Chow Chow of 4, one 2 of 6 pugs, 1 of 4 bulldogs. I know there's a couple other one of 1 golden. Oh, there was the Huskies and the Chow Chow. That's right. 7 of 20 poodle. That was a $7 one, but a good, a good advance rate contest. And I really, really like those. 2 of 4 dachshunds. Yes, it's the Husky. Excuse me. 4 of 8 Huskies. One Chow Chow, who I know several of those are sibling showdown drafts. And 1 of 3 bulldogs. So yeah, just happy to see those higher dollar or a good advance rate contests, looking good. Anything else we want to point out before we move on? Oh, did we want to look at the BBM portfolio? Look at like the high scores or something? How do I go back to that, Steve? Just go to leaderboard, right?
Well, did you mention your BBM, your 8 of 24?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And again, Candyman, you and I have at least 2 currently advancing sibling showdown BBMs. Candyman, I'm advancing with. I think I'm advancing with BBG, Coach Speak Index. I'm not missing Pat Fantasy Dog Pound, a few others. So that'll just be fun to watch through. And let's take a look at the regular season payout. I know people kind of complained about that as the season, but I do think for guys like Mathology who crushed it, those do deserve to be rewarded, and so those are fun. I don't think I'm going to have a big sweat in that race, and hopefully my sweat will be on the marathon. But I think that's so cool to have that. As Mike said, "How dare you jinx your innocent little brother?" I'm so sorry. I will be rooting on with you tonight. Rooting on obviously Darnold and Baker and Mike Evans to get that big eliminator through. So you're crushing puppies like a professional NBA player against dudes. Absolutely love it, Mike. Yeah. So you are crushing the puppies, but I think bottom line is we're both happy with where our portfolios are at. Still a long way to go, but we're both excited about that. Wow. I mean, the top scores are way higher than what was my marathon team, Steve? Like
it's not 11, it's 10 something.
It's like 1080 or something like that. So yeah, this is definitely higher. Oreo King with the first place team currently, Dak May, and then Bijan JT, Anchorage, Chuba, Javante, Ray Davis, Rico. Wow. So this is like a 2
he handcuffed Carolina. That was smart.
Yeah. Wow. That is, and that's where these handcuff situations on teams that aren't afraid to run the ball. There are certain teams where you're like, that's pretty sharp. Yeah. So yeah, Bijan JT, handcuff Carolina, Javante, Ray Davis, Blake Corum, and then JSN, obviously a massive winner there. Pickens, Addison, Josh Downs, Demario Douglas, Tesla tonight, Trey Tucker, Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry. So yeah, fun to see kind of what's crushing it at the top. So yeah, let's see. You said you have a couple in the top 10,000. I don't think I do. I'm not. You have 2 in the top.
I think 10, I have 2. I had been trending 3 or 4. So.
Yeah, 3771 is your top one. Purdy, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, McCaffrey, JT, David Monty tonight, Eckler, Sampson, and then Higgins, Worthy, Pearsall, Diggs, Keenan Allen, Kirk, Trey Tucker, Andrews, Ertz, Fannin. Yeah, that's a really, I can see why that is doing so well. And again, that's what's so great about using BBMD to check this out. Yeah, I don't have anything. Very fun. I have the first place marathon currently, and hope that stays, but nowhere close in the BBMs there to the. I guess I have 1 in 14,000.
Those. Yeah, those could. Depending on what those teams are, you'd have to actually look at them. But there's definitely going to be a lot of shifting in that range because it's so thin.
What's so funny?
With so many teams.
This one that's in 14,673. Oh no, I thought I had the same quarterbacks as the marathon, but it's May Herbert Rogers. Whereas the marathon is Dak Herbert Rogers, but Christian McCaffrey, and then Pacheco instead of so for Christian McCaffrey, Pacheco, Monty, Scatabo, Monangai, who scored yesterday. So Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be sniffing like any fun prizes of the regular season, but hopefully I can keep hanging in there on the marathon. So I think we did a good job covering this, and BBMD makes it so easy to, do these portfolio reviews. Any other things before we move on to kind of like a, week 8 early look here? No, you might be frozen. Okay, we're going to keep moving on. So we are going to talk, I'll just make this quick as I pull down this, bring over DraftKings. As far as week 7, for me, I didn't do a ton of lineups, but obviously very high in the Dak or Dallas Washington game. The Dak stacks were fine, whichever way you wanted to stack it. Obviously, I think Lamb Ferguson double stacks were probably the best, but obviously a lot of quarterbacks did outscore him. Herbert being put up a massive score. I guess how many quarterbacks outscored Dak on the main slate? Oh, you might be frozen again. That's okay. So yeah, as far as DFS is concerned, what hurt me is I always ran back Dak with JCM. I felt like he had like a, awesome matchup. And, you really just,
probably at least 5.
Okay. So can you see if you go out and come back in, or because
I think about 5 quarterbacks that scored Dak.
Okay, gotcha. We got coolers in here. Steve is elite at the staring game. Yeah, he's visiting me here in Baltimore, and his for some reason the Wi-Fi is not cooperating with both of us, even after rebooting and trying all these things. So, but yeah, we'll power through here. But yeah, as far as the DFS is concerned, week 7, it was just average for me, kind of like a break-even type week. Definitely was big on that game, but always forcing JCM kind of hurt me. Any thoughts for you, Steve?
Yeah, kind of the same. Like I tried to make some big stands on like JCM and a few other backs. Not that I didn't play Quinshon, but I definitely played him less in the field. And that just didn't work. And kind of split the Lamb Pickens ownership. Obviously wanted Lamb. And I wrote this up. I was more in on I wanted a Chargers receiver in a lot of lineups, had a lot of Vlad and QJ. You needed Keenan Allen. So that was a tough thing there. And I did a little Gadsden, Ferg was the guy. Had plenty of JT, but yeah, just not enough of the right combos. And yeah, like Dak was fine, but even on the 4:00 slate, he got outscored by Herbert and Nix, and I think Dart was right there with them. So
right.
It was like Dak had a good score. It was just a week with a lot of good scores.
Okay. Thank you. You summarized it much better than me. I should have pulled up, a lineup to really, really look at it, but we're moving on to week 8. No, I think kind of what we wrote up, we kind of stuck to what we liked, mainly, Dallas Washington game, but yeah, there was a lot of other stuff that hit, like the Chargers and stack, and obviously including Oronde Gadsden, who I had in my player pool. I just only got 2 on a 4 p.m. only. And then obviously Dart, going off and that kind of stuff. So that Knicks going off, that game was just a huge smash. You wanted to actually stack that up. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I think we had a good process. I don't think I made as many process mistakes. Maybe just shouldn't have always lock button JCM with the Dak stacks. But yeah, we're moving on. Week 8 early look. Let's break it down here. Another 10-game slate. Obviously, more teams on bye, but no London game, no doubleheader next Monday night. So this is a 10-game slate. I believe 7 at 1 p.m., 3, 4 p.m. games. Top of the board, we have obviously Lamar Jackson coming back, most likely. Josh Allen, Hurts going back against the Giants-Eagles game, which obviously Giants upset the Eagles a couple Thursday nights ago. Then Dak against Denver, Baker against New Orleans, Drake May against Cleveland. So it doesn't feel like any like smash spots necessarily, but where are you looking at top of the board, Steve, at quarterback position?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is Lamar did not practice today. I don't know if it's just an abundance of caution or if he's still dealing with the hamstring. That's a great matchup. So, you got like that if he does play. I probably will go to Hurts. Just the Giants, I think, are a good matchup. They just gave up the highest point total to a quarterback this week, 39 points. And, Hurts is coming off one of his best games. So I think it's fair. I mean, Allen versus Carolina, Carolina's going to have Andy Dalton at quarterback. So I just don't know if there'll be any pushback. Probably a fine floor play, 18 to 21 points, but I just probably not worth paying up for. I don't know. We have these games like May and Daniel Jones could be in absolute blowouts. Baker could be in a blowout, but that is a divisional game at least, and one that just has a history of some animosity. And it's in a dome. So I kind of like that. I like Baker, and especially kind of want to obviously see what we're getting with Evans and Mbuka back. But if they look healthy tonight, I'm going to be really in on them, especially because if they go off tonight, their prices aren't going to go any higher.
Right. No, that makes sense. Okay, then the mid-range, we've got Bo Nix, who put up a massive score going against the Dallas. Maybe that could be a game where you'd say, I don't know, Denver defense, but then maybe that could be a game like the Giants Denver that gets a little spicier. Dallas at Denver. So Nix against Dallas, Purdy hopefully coming back against the Texans, Caleb Williams against Lamar, and hopefully, we'll see on Lamar and Baltimore. So that is something to monitor. Dart. Obviously last game against Philly Thursday night last week, that was week 6, 23.6 points against the Eagles defense. Of course, we had our guy Scatabo with 3 touchdowns, which, by the way, shout out Mike Robb, absolutely hysterical to fix the internet issues. Have you tried turning off the 6 TVs you have playing in the house, auto playing all of Scatabo's runs this year? Absolutely hysterical. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's happening, but no, I swear that's not happening. But that is a good shout out. It could be true. Eagles Vikings stack was great this week too. Yes, good call out on that. Hurts definitely was a second. That was one I was skeptical on, but that was one that definitely got home. Caleb Williams against Baltimore, Dart against Eagles, Flacco against the Jets, Mac Jones. Oh, well, I guess if Purdy's coming back, and Bryce Young out, Stroud against 49ers. And then Fields could be benched. Then you're getting into this yuck range. So who do you like in this mid to low range of quarterbacks, Steve?
I mean, I do like Bo Nix. It is tough to trust. It's just, he's been very inconsistent. Dart, going into Philly, I think it's going to be a different environment. I don't mind going to Joe Flacco at home. He gets a long week, so he'll actually maybe know the whole playbook now. You can throw the revenge narrative. He played for the Jets for a minute. But no, I just think Joe Flacco's out there having fun. And the Jets just feel like a team that's totally collapsing and imploding. And while their defense has played a little better the last couple games, they still, Carolina was doing whatever they wanted pretty much. Or did well more than enough. So anyways, I just wouldn't mind taking a Joe Flacco shot, but it probably more in like maybe more 1 p.m. only, just so you're avoiding some of the 4 p.m. hammers.
Okay. Anybody else? What about Caleb Williams against Baltimore's banged up defense? If Lamar is back, that could have some pushback, right?
Yeah, it could. I mean, he's just so inconsistent, and he's had the 2 kind of ceiling games, week 1 and then the Dallas game. Maybe this could be another one. I think it's like a
Yeah, I think we lost him there. I'll keep it moving. But yeah, I mean, again, we will do a deeper dive on Thursday, lineup construction, then Saturday, obviously, with a longer positional breakdown. And then Steve's article, of course. So going to the top of running backs, JT, Christian McCaffrey, our guys in best ball. Let's keep them rolling here. Then we got Bijan Robinson in a just smash spot matchup against the Dolphins, who, as Ian Hart has tweeted today, every running back that starts against the Dolphins looks like Barry Sanders. Then you got Barkley, another rough week for Barkley, back up against the Giants, and then Achane, Atlanta. Steve, are you back? Thoughts on top running backs?
Kind of. I mean, it's Bijan. It's Bijan and Jonathan Taylor. McCaffrey's great, obviously monster game, but that's a super tough matchup. I'm going to take Bijan Jonathan Taylor over him every time. I'll have a hedge lineup or two with McCaffrey, but those two running backs, I want as much as I can get them, and I will pay up for both.
Absolutely. Okay, then going down in this mid-range, you have Javonte going back against Denver. You have James Cook, our guy Scattaboo, up to 6.6K. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'm running through the mid-round running backs. Yeah. Scattaboo against now up at 6.6K. Last time had 3 tuds. We'll see. Might be a little difficult. I'm assuming Jalen Carter will be in this time. Judkins against New England. Rashad White against New Orleans. Dowdle, obviously the Carolina backfield now more split. Then you got Henry against Chicago. This is interesting. 6K. If Lamar's back, do you have interest in Derrick Henry? And talk about this mid-range if you're able. Oh, nope. He's working on it. So I'll just mention that Derrick Henry at 6K does seem intriguing to me against the Chicago defense that we have wanted to attack overall. So I'll be interested to see what his ownership is. Derrick Henry, 6K. That seems interested to me. Scatabo, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. He scored against Denver, had the 3 touchdowns 2 weeks ago against Philly. What's his ownership going to be now at 6.6K? Definitely want to see ownership there. Judkins against New England. I think that this mid-range has a lot of interesting pieces. James Cook against Carolina off the bye. I think that's all pretty interesting as well. Steve, are you there? Any mid-range running backs you want to target? Okay. Looks like you're doing a staring contest again. So I'll just keep rolling, down lower after Henry. Then you've got the Swift versus Baltimore, Dobbins versus Dallas, Kamara versus Tampa, Ramondre versus Cleveland. He obviously, had a touchdown this week. Though I don't want to go up against the Cleveland defense, run defense. So then we're getting a little lower. Not sure there's a lot down low that I'm interested in. Let's see if Steve comes back. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to call out in this spot. I'm not seeing anything like jumping out to me. Monongai did get a touchdown, had 13 rushing attempts. So I want to dive deeper at that. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I really look at usage. And then Thursdays, really looking more into matchups and that kind of stuff. So do you think that it could be interesting as a cheaper play at 4.9K, but I want to dig deeper. He did get 13 attempts for 81 and a touchdown. Again, stay tuned to our show on Thursday and then Saturday. And then top of the board here, receivers, of course, we've got Chase, Lamb, Nico, at the very top. Pickens still not far behind Lamb. If you're interested in double stack, I'm assuming Pickens will be similar, where he'll be the much lower owned one since their prices are so close. Same with Mbuka and Evans are now priced together. We'll see what happens tonight going up against New Orleans. So definitely could get interesting with like potential double stacks of Chase, and then Higgins is down at, where's Higgins at? Why don't I see? Okay, he's all the way at 5.6K. That's interesting to me because as much as Chase is the ultimate stud, I don't know if if you wanted to play it, 5.6K Higgins could be intriguing. I don't know. That's interesting. But there's a lot of double stacks, right? Like Chase, Higgins, Lamb, Pickens, Mbuka, Evans, depending what happens tonight. And then, of course, you got like the other alphas on their teams like Drake London, Roma Dunze, Cortland Sutton here at the top. So definitely a lot of interesting spots. I again want to dive deeper at the matchups, but I do want to call out that there's a lot of double stacks. And will that be the play, or is it more singling off like the one alpha on those teams? That'll be something to consider as well. Tight ends really quick. We got Jake Ferguson, Tyler Warren, George Kittle back, but didn't get, did he not have any targets last night? Okay, 2 targets, no receptions. That was wild. I thought he'd just fill right back in. They said no snap count. And I just thought he'd kind of still get peppered with the receivers depleted. So that was surprising to me. What is the, second week back at 4.5K? That's something to take a look at. And then, Warren and Ferguson have been obviously the go-tos and now are 6K and 5.5 respectively. Obviously Fannin is moving up to 4.4. Kincaid, I assume he'll be back off the bye, but we'll have to check that. 4.3. Goddard 4.2. I usually try to surf in the 3.5 and under and see what could be available. You have Theo Johnson, 3.7. I don't think he did much in that Philly game, though, a couple weeks ago. Mark Andrews coming off the bye, 3.6. Mason Taylor, 3.5. Yeah, I don't know. I usually do look for this area to see if there's anything viable. So again, we'll have to dive deep here. Maybe we are going to have to live more in this mid 4K range, or be willing to pay up for 5.5 for a Tyler Warren or a 6K for Jake Ferguson. I was actually going to ask Steve that. Mike, I think if we want to do an underdog draft or talk about Monday Night Football, I can ask him for that. So let me go talk to him. You know what? I'll play some. What music should we play in the background? Let's put on the Ducks. Put on the Ducks, and then I can go ask Steve. Does he want to jump in? Does he want to, here? Oh, he's entering the studio, or maybe look at this. Let's see. All right, Steve, I threw the Ducks music on because Mike was saying, could we get two shops on one camera? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay. As fast before your camera goes out again or get freeze again, what are your thoughts to wrap up the DFS portion here? Any other early look on running back, receiver, tight end?
Yeah, I mean, my early take is I really want to pay up at running back, and maybe even 3 running backs when I can fit it. Tight end prices are going up, so not maybe as much value. Receiver, with the stacks and stuff like that. I think there could be some good mid-tier value at receiver that I'm going to try and focus on. But overall, and some of it is betting on Sutton and Adunze in these matchups and, the Eagles guys. Who's the other one? Steph Diggs still hasn't gotten the touch. Yeah.
I hope he gets back in the touchdown. Yeah. And then who did you just say? Diggs hasn't gotten a touchdown still, right?
Diggs hasn't gotten a touchdown, but he ended up with the most targets on the team. It feels like that big breakout game is totally, he had the monster with catches versus Buffalo, but it feels like the big breakout game could be coming at any point. Still kind of hunting for low value receivers or lower price receivers, but mid-tier seems pretty good.
Okay. No, you were right. I talked about the potential double stacks in some of these games, but you're right. There's a lot of mid-range value with Rome Odunze against Baltimore, Sutton against Dallas. The Eagles receivers against Giants, Diggs against the Browns. There's a lot there to for sure. So, all right. Anything else on DFS? And did you want to do Underdog, or you just want to jump to the Monday night streets? Since we're
Let's
about an hour.
Jump to the Monday night streets. We're an hour away, and I can't trust my thing won't freeze.
Okay. All right. So let me pull over FanDuel Sportsbook. We'll talk through the Monday night doubleheader tonight, what we like, what we sent out, what we're thinking about. We did already kind of build. We didn't really see a fun lotto type parlay, but we did build push the first game, kind of scaled it back for the second game. So we can talk about those. Let me bring this over now. Okay. So Monday night doubleheader. Of course, first in a little over an hour at 7:00, we've got Bucks at Lions. The line is 54.5. Big old total here for this one. Should be fun. Has shootout potential for sure. Lions are favored by 5.5. Steve, how do you see this game going?
Especially with both Evans and Mbuka back, I would be probably taking the plus 5.5 for the Bucks. This team just has a no quit attitude. If they lose, I would bet it's on field goal, right? Right. So I kind of like that. it's a high over, but I get it. These are two of the most explosive, powerful offenses in the league. So I don't mind that either. I could see either team winning. Obviously, the Lions are a little healthier offensively. Bucks are healthier defensively. But I like the Bucks with the points.
Yeah. Okay. The Bucks with the points. I think that I mean they're so frisky. Baker obviously putting up an MVP campaign, and gosh, so damn fun to watch. And yeah, I didn't think Mbuka was going to be playing, but that's going to be fun to watch play out tonight. I certainly wouldn't bet the under on this game. I'm not going to be betting the over, but I wouldn't bet the under either. So yeah. And then let's go into this game, and then we'll dive deeper at any props, touchdowns, fun parlay stuff. So second game, Texans at Seattle at the Seahawks, 41.5 total, vastly different from the first game. Whereas they're, much respect to these two defenses, looks like more of a slugfest here. Seattle currently favored by 3. How do you see this game going tonight, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, Houston, went into the bye playing pretty well, have the bye, still without Christian Kirk, but they have these young receivers, maybe one or both to step up. They still have this guy called Nico Collins, is pretty damn good. And Seattle's secondary is pretty strong, or is pretty, their weak part right now. Like their defensive line is really good. I don't think Woody Marks, Nick Chubb, or even if Joe Mixon was there, was going to run on this team. So I expect it to be low scoring, and I do kind of like Seattle. Seattle's playing exceptionally well. Sam Darnold has, even when they lose, they barely lose. Like that Bucs game could have gone either way. They outplayed the Jags, who are an inconsistent team in their own right, but a good team, a playoff at least caliber team. So Seattle at home, I think, is going to be a tough beat, and they're well coached, they're well run. The offense is just churning. I mean, Darnold and JSN are looking fantastic.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with all that. I definitely like Seattle in this one, for sure. I don't see a ton of points scored in this game, but that's a low total, 41.5. So probably wouldn't mess around with that too much either. Okay, going into the first game, what do we like for props? What do we like for touchdowns here? I know I'll just shout out that, of course, touchdowns we did, and we sent it out or were on it before the Mbuka news, but Mike Evans getting plus money. He is Mr. Red Zone. Maybe he has his snaps, routes run limited, but you have to believe they're going to be looking his way in the red zone, as they always do when Mike Evans is active. So you're getting plus money for Mike Evans. That always feels like a fine click at plus money. So we did send out to our Substack, posted in Discord, the parlays we landed on, sent out the bet of Mike Evans, and then the parlays in Substack as well. Substack link below in the description. $34.99 for an entire year. That includes all the best ball stuff, which obviously we are having a lot of fun with tracking now, but did content all summer long and will for next best ball off season. And then in season, you're getting daily posts from us for betting, like we just sent out for tonight, DFS and Underdog dailies. So Steve, what else do you like besides Mike Evans? Any other touchdown scores you like? I know one we included in a parlay I'll shout out was Sam Laporta, his match out. Shout out to Sharp Football Analysis, Rich Rebar's, what do they call it? His game by game breakdown. I forget the worksheet. Rich's worksheet is like gospel for me. Sam Laporta has a really good matchup against the Bucs defense. They give up a 10% touchdown rate to tight ends. Sam Laporta, you're getting a plus 175. We included that in tight end or in a parlay. Any other thoughts on that? Oh, you're on mute.
No, I like those two. The other two that I really.
You're not. Sorry, you're not on mute. It was just delayed. My bad. And now you might be frozen. All right, we're going to power through this. Cooler says, I like ASB and Laporta the most for touchdowns on the Lions side. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can always throw in one of the running backs on the Lions side, but I agree with that. And then the Bucs, Evans. So I think I did one with I want to say Gibbs, Evans, and Laporta or something like that. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you. ASB, Laporta makes the most sense touchdown side. Any other thoughts on Laporta or anything else, Steve?
Yeah, Rashard White would be my other touchdown guy.
Yeah, plus money for Rashad White. I like that call out a lot, plus 115. All right. First touchdown. I personally sprinkled on Evans at 950, Laporta at 1100, and JMO can always just, be fun at 12 to 1. Any other first touchdown thoughts? You could get crazy with like an Isaac Kessler at 30 to 1. Any other crazy touchdown thoughts?
And Kate Otten isn't terrible. He's out there every snap. He's just not, the first or third or sometimes even fourth option, but he's out there every snap.
Yeah, no, he's 18 to 1. I mean, a frisky one would, in my opinion, Baker Mayfield, 45 to 1 is kind of crazy. You never know. That guy, he just will do anything to win. I mean, he has just been so fun to watch this season. So, okay, we covered touchdowns, talked about how, we like some of these plus money bets of Mike Evans, Rashad White. I mean, Mbuka is playing tonight, plus 145, Laporta plus 175. So kind of covered that. Okay. Props that you like in this game, Steve, this first game starting in about an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the belief that Mike Evans is ahead of Mbuka, even with Mbuka playing. So I'm gonna think that I don't mind Evans either from a catch or a yard standpoint. Also, just this line secondary is really thin, really weak. That's how you attack the Lions, and this is also probably going to be a high-scoring game. So I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, Mike Evans 70, you can get plus 126. And again, we like approaching his touchdown at plus 110. I know you and I talked this through with the Lions defense so depleted. Baker Mayfield has had, 2+ touchdowns in most of the games this year, but certainly is frisky, that's the word I always use for him, to get 3+ touchdowns. We put this in a parlay, plus 194. The Lions have been giving up 2 or more touchdowns. I think in every game but one this season, at least 2 touchdowns. And you could just see the potential high scoring game. I could see 3 passing touchdowns at plus 194 coming on the arm of Baker against this very depleted Lions secondary. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think so. This team scores at such a high rate, and a lot of times they've allowed the running backs to score. This game, they might need to just throw more for it. So as much as I like Rashad White from touchdown, he can get in the air as well. So that can be one of Baker's touchdowns.
Yeah, so I'll just show one of the parlays we sent. Again, Substack link below in the description. You get everything sent to you. We did 3 passing Baker Mayfield touchdowns. Sam Laporta anytime. Again, Baker, again, feisty, frisky, whatever you want to say. Also, again, very depleted Lions secondary. So we did his rushing passing 300 plus for his rushing passing. Let me find that. Give me a minute here. How did I lose that? Okay, I had the Mike Evans pulled up. All right. Well, I don't know. I'll put it in the exact. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Yeah, Baker 300 plus rushing, passing. You get up to like 8 to 1, and then we threw in, Old Faithful, the reception line for Amon-Ra, with the Todd Bowles defense and the rush. That Jared Goff's go-to is to get it out to Amon-Ra when he's pressured. And so we did Amon-Ra over 8+ receptions, which he's been pretty steady at E4. So you can never count what his ADOT is, but you just Goff having to get it out to Amon-Ra, 8+ receptions. That's the parlay we sent for this game. Okay, over to the next game, Steve, to wrap it up, so people have a chance to get ready to watch this fun double header Monday night. The second game, Texans, Seahawks. Not much stands out to me besides Nico here. What do you think from a props or touchdown perspective? Nico at plus 155 stands out to me. Other than that, there's not a ton that stands out to me as value. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a super tough matchup for JSN with Stingley and just the Texans in general. The only wide receiver one they've pretty much allowed it was Puka, but JSN also has just an insane target rate. So you can go there with JSN for sure. I also kind of like, even though it's a tough matchup, Sam Darnold 2 passing touchdowns He's done it in most of his games this year. You know, their running game is generally kind of inefficient right now, and the Texans are a good run defense as well. They're just kind of good defense across the board. So Sam Darnold, 2 passing touchdowns. Again, they're at home, they're favorite. If they're going to score a couple touchdowns, I think it's on Darnold.
Okay. I know that makes a ton of sense to me, especially when you're getting plus 132. I like that. Just want to say a quick hi to our guy, Who Hames in chat. Steve will be on with Who Hames tomorrow, at 3 p.m. Eastern, right, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then so 1:30 here, Talking Ball with Steve will speak 3 p.m. Eastern, Who Hames channel, breaking down the week 7 slate. We got our guy GAB Sports in here, GMGM. You guys play ladders on UD. One of my 4 or 5 legs always fails me, not getting to min cash. So tilting, it always feels like lost by a leg in any parlay, whether it's on the sports book or the UD. I don't have UD pick'ems in here in Maryland, so I don't do UD pick'ems only because I don't have access to it there. So I think you play more on the sports books too, right, Steve?
Yeah, I do. And the ladders is a particular type of UD game. I haven't really done much with it.
Okay. But good to see you in here, GAB. Good to see Coolers. Good to see Who Hames. Okay, wrapping this up. Yeah, the things that stood out to us was Darnold, 2 passing touchdowns, Nico, anytime touchdown. We also talked about, and again, link in the description, for Substack, sent out on Substack, Jaden Higgins, post-buy rookie bump, Kirk out, right? It was, 30 plus receiving yards, plus 112. He's kind of been around that these last few games. So post-buy rookie bump, with Kirk out, don't mind that. Seattle has a kind of banged up secondary as well. And then, not Arroyo, but receiving yards for Barner. AJ Barner has been, a solid target here. And, whether you want to go 25 or 30 receiving yards, don't mind that as well, given how tough JSN's matchup in the Houston secondary is. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I like both of those. You could also even take a shot at Jalen Noel because he probably gets more just pure slot snaps with the Kirk injury. But again, post-buy rookie bump, early mid-third round pick. So and the odds are even a little better. But Higgins is my favorite of those, and then Barner on the Seattle side.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. We got our guy Paul in here. What's going on, Paul? Legion 13, of course, petition UD to give Meg half the purse for winning half marathon. I'll take it. If they want to. Hey, listen, I love this. I'd like it sold. I was like, is there a cash out option? No, obviously playing on the sports books, I have utilized the cash out option once or twice, but no, I do believe in this team. I hope it stays healthy. I think it can make a run. I freaking love this marathon team, but I would not turn that down. I would totally go in for the half marathon. Oh, there's Brett from Underdog. Brett, do they give any half marathon prizes? No, good to see you, Brett. Always love seeing you in here. And yes, I am having fun. We talked about BBMDB and looking at our Underdog portfolio. And of course, I'm in first in the marathon. Steve's in 11th. The siblings are having fun with that. And so I am super, super excited to sweat out that team. And Steve obviously has 10 in the top 1,000. I have top 5 in the top 1,000. We're super excited. Love the marathon. The Schaub siblings marathon. So we got to have something with that name because, we're going to run back even more marathon content if this holds. But good to see you, Brett. And I like that he jumped in right as I said I'd happily take a half marathon prize. Absolutely. Yeah. Picked an absolute perfect time to open the stream. Hopes all well with the shops. Yeah, no, we talked about it a ton at the beginning of the show, Brett, but that's absolutely hysterical as Paul asked me about the half marathon that Brett jumps in. Love to see it. Okay. Final thoughts on the bets, Steve. We basically talked about the spots we like for props, the spots we like for touchdowns, talked about the parlay we sent for the first game, obviously sent a parlay for the second game as well. Again, link in the description for the Substack. Check it out. You can always cancel. But any other thoughts for tonight, Steve?
No. I mean, two, like you said, very different games. One could be one of the highest scoring games on the week, which would say a lot. So it's going to be tough too. But the other, probably one of the lower scoring ones. So, pick your spots and good luck to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Huheim saying DK running a promo, end zone, king of the end zone promo. I saw that, threw it in with JMO because it's longest touchdown. So if anybody, which I'm sure a lot of people are thinking the same thought process with JMO. So, to me, the ones that stood out to me for that was JMO or Nico. But are there any sneaky ones? Because I didn't, obviously if you do get the one and splitting it with less people, I can't think of is there any sneaky ones I'm missing? Maybe like Torrey Horton.
Yeah, I was going to say Torrey Horton or one of the Texans' young receivers. Both have vertical ability, and if you just get lucky and hit. So those would be the sneaky ones.
Well, I already put in for JMO, so go JMO. And good luck to everybody tonight. But I mean, again, Monday, we're always going to do these portfolio reviews, 5 o'clock Degen Power Hour portfolio reviews, and then kind of early looks at this, and then Monday night bets. We'll be back Thursday with Degen Power Hour to dive deeper at the DFS Week 8 slate, dive deeper on the Underdog dailies slates, and then we'll talk, of course, about the Thursday night football game on Thursday. And then, of course, Tuesday, again, Steve we got 2 shows tomorrow. So the normal slate of shows. So if you're not subscribed to the Fanspeak network, make sure you are subscribed. It shows every single weekday here. Steve will be back tomorrow talking ball with Steve Speak at 1:30 p.m., then going over to Huheim's channel, and then Tyler's spread. Jamie will be breaking down the Week 8 NFL betting card. Okay, you talked about it. He's pivoting to Jalen Noel. So,
and he's got a point punt return count. So,
that's a really, really, really good point. Okay, like that. All right. Well, good luck to you, Huheims. Good luck to everybody else on this Monday night football 2-game slate. However you're playing it, whether it's Underdog, Pick'ems, dailies, because you could do a 2-game Underdog daily, whether it's in the DFS streets, in the betting streets, whatever it is. Good luck to everybody tonight. This has been fun, as it always is. Be sure to join Steve tomorrow at 1:30. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you next time.